G'day folks, well this is the crazy Uranus cube solve, and as I said in the Jupiter one, I realised that I don't have single video solves of these crazy planet puzzles, and they're such awesome puzzles. That was a big oversight and I've tried to fix that now. Now if you haven't ever seen the crazy planet cubes, you must get them. They're awesome, and of course you can buy the whole set if you're a collector. If you just want the functionality, you can buy 2 of these puzzles complimentary and make all the other ones out of those just by a simple switching of centres. So this one here, I'll leave links in the description to all of that. This one here has 2 0 faces. So that is a 0 face because the centre doesn't turn, and the green face is always also a 0 face because the centre doesn't turn. All the rest are 1 faces where those centre parts, those inner parts, do turn. So Uranus is similar to Jupiter, but it's got one little difference in that we've got the white and the green, that we need to make that edge first because we can't make it at the end. So we're going to put it here and store it. So the first thing we're going to do in reducing that edge is find a green inner edge, so this one will do, and turn the inner edge into that position first of all. Then we're going to find a white inner edge and turn it into this position. So there's one here or here, we can just turn them around on these other faces, and you'll notice that when I turn that down, it doesn't affect that green edge there. It's certainly, if I turn that face, it will affect this edge, but it doesn't affect that one. So now that we've got the green and the white in place, we go and locate the white-green outer edge, which is over here. So we're going to bring that up to the top and basically just put it like that so that we can turn it down into its position. But we can't just turn it down because it will knock out the green. So we turn it down with an edge piece series. Down, down, up, up, and that's done. And you'll see everything is sitting there, and that's basically the first thing that we need to do. Now from there, what we're going to do is now build the edges like we would for Jupiter, except that I don't want to use all 4 of them. If you've seen that video, you would see that I'd start with something like this, then I'd place a yellow inner here, like that, and then I'd say, oh, this is a red outer, so that's got to find a red inner here, and I'd go and build all 4 of them. Well, with this one, all we want to do is have 2 here and here, or here and here. And now that I've got 2, I'll demonstrate what's going on. We'll turn that yellow around to there, like so. Now you'll notice that knocks out the white-green. And so we've now got that yellow done, and we then look at this one here, which is now a red outer. So what I want to put here in its place is a red inner. So I'll just turn that one down to the bottom, and then make sure I turn that back up, red inner. So that one has to go up to that position. So remember, I'm turning that red outer edge onto the red inner. Watch this, when I do it, that turns back and it rebuilds that white green. So every time we're doing one turn one way, and then the next time we'll do the turn back the other way, and that way we won't ever permanently disrupt that. So I'd then look at this and say that's a blue, so I need a blue inner. Here's a blue inner here, so I'll just flip that over and now make that one. Because I've gone this way, the next one I've got to turn that yellow outer around here in that direction. And so I'm looking for a yellow inner piece, which is on the bottom. It's actually quite hypnotic and therapeutic as you start getting into it. It's just turn, 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 turn. Okay, so then I've got a blue here. I can just turn that straight up. And that green then needs to go back. And you'll notice the whole time that is staying intact. I've got a white here. So all of the reduction activity just takes place in this area. And that happens to also have done that orange, so it would make sense now to replace this one with something that isn't done first of all. So let's put that up there, and then put a red inner here. And it looks like the only red inner that I don't have done is this one here, and it's on the it's on near a green face. So what I want to do is turn that down, then turn it off, and then put that back, and that'll make sure everything stays intact. Now I can turn it round, put it up to that face, turn things back, reduce that. Now I've got a blue outer, and so I can get a blue inner up there. Go again. That's done again, so let's put another one. What about this one? A yellow outer looking for a yellow inner, and you can see how quick this is. There's really nothing to it. Green outer. Green inner there, so we'll turn that one around. Need to put a red inner there now. And do I have one? If I don't have one, that's okay. What that means is that I just put a red normal in that position. Now, just got to get which way I'm going. That has got to go back there, so this is the red outer, got to go. In fact, that's why, because the red inner was sitting here. So what I can do is just find a normal completed red piece like that, turn that on, and it'll make that at the same time. And we've got an orange outer which needs to go to that orange inner. So going to turn that off and then put that up into its position. Turn things, in fact, where are we going? Yep, orange is going to go that way. This blue now will need to come back to a completed blue piece to finish things off. So I'll put that underneath, turn it back, and you'll notice blue to blue to blue will finish everything off. And unless I'm mistaken, that's all of the edges reduced. Now the next stage of it is to do the corners, and the corners are done in a similar manner to that. So we basically, because I'm just turning around and around, it makes sense to have white or all one colour here, and since we've got the white green there, we might as well put the other whites in their position. But essentially, if you just always go one way and then the other way back, you could have any two edges here. It wouldn't matter as long as you kept turning them back. But to avoid any chance of mistakes, I'm going to put the white pieces in their positions. What's that? White, red. And then just the last one. So just putting the white edges into their positions, and now what I've got to do is this. I've got to, for example, either of these will work. I could look at this orange piece and say it's got to go there, so I'll turn that one around to there, and then I note that this, I've got to turn the puzzle back that way, the face back that way, so the red outer face has to come back to here. So I want to put a corner with a red inner piece in that position. And a couple of options here. You can see this one needs to be rotated, so one thing I could do, and as long as I just turn the one faces, this is fine. So I'll do two edge piece series like that, and it rotates that red around, and now I can turn that back, and that part is reduced, and importantly these edges are still good. Now just cutting back in to show you that here in this position I've got this corner that has all three that need to be done, so I really want to get that out. So what I'm going to do is just turn that down to that face, turn it right off, and then put the edges back, and so now that corner I can deal with. So I've got a yellow outer, I might as well put the yellow inner. In fact, that's not going to, yes it is, because it'll turn that back, that's good. So I can do that. Now this red outer can now be put onto a red inner if I've got one of them. And even if I don't, I do, it's up here, but let's say I don't, I can just use this, put that in there, and that will certainly do at least one of them. And I'd probably now want to rotate this around. So, as an example, yeah, well it doesn't really matter, does it? So I'm just going to rotate that around. Got a yellow outer here. The problem is you can see I've got a yellow outer and a yellow inner in the same one. So I'm going to get that other yellow inner up there, like that. Just keeping an eye on that white green at the back. So that's now done, and that's a green outer which needs to come back to a green inner, which is under here. So again I can go up, up, down, down now. And that can now turn back. Things are looking okay. And what have we got here? This one, that will need to come out of there. And probably now that piece will be all done, that piece will be all done. So there shouldn't be too many left. We've got a yellow here, and that's got to go to that inner piece. Now when I turn this on, I don't reckon there's many left, if any. There's one green here, and you'll see that's a green outer. So this is going to turn around. Now I'm going to put that green inner piece, the last one, into that position. And you can see the red will turn back to there, the blue will turn back to there, and those corners are all reduced. And that's pretty much all there is to reducing the corners. Now, in terms of placing, again, similar, we want to place our edges that are near the white green. So these edges here, the red green and the orange green first. So I can't do this because you can see it starts breaking that relationship. So what I want to do is put it in a position where I can, in this case, turn that up and then put it back, and that avoids turning the white face entirely. Now it happens that I've got a third middle edge in here now, so I'm going to take that and use this one as my fourth edge, place these top edges starting with these back two. So I might turn that position of the green around. So this is just standard placement of edges for my method at least, and being careful not to turn the white face. Got the yellow orange that needs to flip and go there, like that. What does that leave us? 2 to swap, so that's no big deal. Turn that upper face one turn and go about resolving them. Whoops. And that'll leave us with some kind of 3 cycle, and that's going to there, that's going to here, and this is the one that flips, so I'll turn its position up, put it on, turn it down, and do that. And that is obviously a fairly painless way of getting the edges in. Now, the last stage of getting these corners done, we need to think about the white and green. These two corners here are the key corners that are surrounding the white and green face. We want to do them first. So I'm just check to see if any are in. And we do have a white, green, orange in. I don't care that it's not oriented, just that it's in. So the other one here is the white, green, red. So we're going to take care of that. We need to get the white, green, red onto, well, it's not essential to get it on the top face. What we do need to do is just consider that we're going to be turning the blue, the yellow and the red face, because all of these faces are one faces, and so I can turn them without fear of the circle corners becoming disrupted. So I've got to place this white, green, red over into there. Now I know that when I do 3 edge piece series and I go up, up, down, down, it'll involve these corners and it'll involve these two. It'll actually swap these two corners. If I go down, down, it'll still swap these two corners, but then it will swap these two. So because all I care about is placing this one, and that movement is not going to affect this one here, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up, up, down, down, and you can see that it's placed that corner in there, but the edges are out, so I'll do that 2 more times, which returns the edges to where they were, and also ends up swapping that corner. So that's good. I've got now the 2 key corners in their positions. Now I'm going to kind of put them to the back, and I'm going to say I'm not going to be worried about them. I'm going to look at the other corners here. So I'm going to have one of them that's done. That's great. That's in. This one here is now my sort of central corner of the corridor, and I'm going to use this to place these yellow edges. So basically I've got the 2 white greens first. I would then go about placing that one if it wasn't placed, and this one is my last one on the white face. So it's the yellow, green, red here, so I'm going to just look and see where's the yellow, green, red position. It's that position. So I'll turn that around, and all I'm going to do is turn that yellow, green, red up into its position using an edge piece series. And you'll notice straight away, yes, that takes the edges out, and it also does stuff down here, but all of this is going to come out at the end. What's next? A yellow, blue, orange. So just every time I do this, I turn the face back just to make sure my bearings are right. Yellow, blue, orange. Well, that's that position. So I'm going to turn that around to above. Now I'm going to go up, up, down, down until that yellow, blue, orange is in position and correctly oriented. Like that. What's next? I've got a white one here. I don't want to place that yet, so I'm just going to turn things back, and I'm just going to get this one out. Okay, now I can consider yellow, blue, red. That's got to go in there, so I'll turn that up. That's done. Got the white down here again because the other yellow corner is the one that's in its position but flipped. So I'm going to take it out of its position and now put it back in with another one of them. So now that's in. Let's turn that yellow face back. You can see all the corners are done. obviously things are not quite right here, so I just need to keep turning until the edges are back and the corners also are in their position. So here the edges are back, but you can see this corner and this corner are swapped, and this corner and this corner are swapped. That tells me I'll need another 3 of these to take care of that. Alright, now the edges are back. You can see all the corners are in their positions but oriented. Some wrong, some right. So we're going to have any number of corners incorrectly oriented, and we're just going to do 2 at a time now to twist them using sune and sune mirror. So all we need for that is an upper face, which is a 1 face, and a right face, which is a 1 face at the very least. It's nice if we have the left face a 1 face as well, but we can get around it if we don't. So I want to locate one that needs to turn anti-clockwise, one that needs to turn clockwise. So those 2 there. Now I will hold the anti-clockwise one at the front, clockwise one at the back, and remember my 2 faces were white and green. So I want to turn this face, that's a 1 face, that's a 1 face, that's a 1 face. That's fantastic, that's all I need. So I carry out sune, and then sune mirror, and you can see that all it's done is twist the exact corners we wanted to and left everything else as it should be. And we're just down to the last 2 corners now. Now this white, orange, green has got to be twisted anti-clockwise, and this one has got to be twisted clockwise. The problem that I have is because they're on the white green faces, I can't turn that. I can't turn them off like that. What I can do though is turn each of them off individually using these side faces. So if I remember that that's got to go anti-clockwise, I can turn that to here, and I can then turn that to here. And then having done that, I've all got my upper and my left and right faces such that I can do sunes on them. Now, if I then turn the upper face 1 turn, I've got my anti-clockwise one at the front, which is what I wanted. So let's recap. Here's where I was. I want it up on here, so I'll turn each of them up on the side faces. That's the anti-clockwise one. So I do an upper face turn, anti-clockwise, and now I'm ready to go with my sune and my sune mirror. That's all done. I can now undo my setups, put them back, and see that my crazy Uranus cube is solved.